Hey everybody, hey traders, how we doing? Let me see. I'm not sure why I'm pushing 720. That's annoying. So you want to go settings here. Weak. All right. Well, apologize for the potential video quality if it's a 720 versus 1080. Um, Nevertheless, we are live. Let's get started for the final hour session. So, a bit of a bloodbath out there today. I've got some profit traps, playing some defense. We're going to see how the day ends up settling. Um, Market makers expected to do like a $27.85 move this morning. They failed miserably. Here is our market efficiency this morning. If you were in my daily profit play, we were looking at price action this morning to give us something along the lines. Let me try to find my levels this morning. So when we started trading, here's the opening bell around 69.76. We are down 100 plus points today. The VIX didn't really keep up with the fall either. VIX was down. There's a 1.64% move. VIX ended up topping out around 20.39. 20.39 is a 1.27% move. So we had more of a slide than what the VIX alluded to. Hopefully that means that if we truly get to a 1.27 based on the VIX top today, move this down. I guess my question is, should I be selling premium right now? I don't know. I not yet. I think if we have another push in VIX, we could quickly go from a 20.4 to maybe a 25 or 30 VIX. So I think I'm going to try to hold off and see if there's more to this downside. So let's get the chat up and running here. All right. So a couple of profit traps for the day. 75 is a profit trap. 90 to 95 to 6,900 is a profit trap. Those could both pay pretty well. So these trades right here hopefully helping me offset some of the risk. Daily profit play, I'm pretty much down the entire amount. 850 is my risk. I'm down 810. So I'm not going to manage that extra 40 bucks. I'm just going to hang on to it and see if I can get some defense that'll help me offset it. Couple of end of day traps. We'll see. Cheap. That's a $940 potential profit trap if we retest lows. It's pin priced around 50. Wide fly 68. That's way down there. That's 20 wide for a buck 35. We'd have to make some fresh lows and just grind and plummet really to 68.40, 68.30 for that to be in play. But it's it was a $2,000 profit trap for 130 bucks. So anyway, here is what I'm looking at for current price. Day started out all the way up here at 69.76, opened up with a small gap up. We had pretty large gamma this morning all the way into the 7,000s. That failed miserably, and things turned red in a heartbeat, and it stayed that way all day. So here is our heat map. Where are we at? Heat map for the day. 59% of stocks down, but the reason it feels so bad out there is because look at what is red. Microsoft down. Okay, remember that butterfly spread we took last week from my newsbreaker service? We had a pin around 425. It actually went through the downside of our butterfly. We took profit last week, but my gosh, we're at fresh lows on Microsoft. Oracle getting hit hard. NVIDIA down almost 5% today. Broadcom, 6% today. Micron way down. Software getting absolutely crushed today. Amazon, Tesla, Google, Meta, Netflix down today, 80 bucks. Eli Lilly, earnings tomorrow morning, just over $1,000 down 3.81%. It's a little wrinkle in the healthcare space. What is doing well? You'd think for the market to be down as badly as it is today, you'd think that we'd have much more red with a full sell-off, like 70+% of the market is down today, but it's not. It's like 59%. So consumer defensives doing pretty well. Walmart's up to 127. Coca-Cola up to $76 and change. Procter & Gamble, PepsiCo has earnings this week as well. Altria at 63. I've got some naked puts on Altria. Ticker MO. Costco still up around 978, almost $1,000. Dollar General up. Defensive doing pretty well. Energy, utilities. These are the sectors I've talked about in 2026 is something I want to play. Took a couple trades today in Project Options Edge. We added a trade on Uber today. We added a trade on Amgen, AMGN, and a trade on Chevron. We also still have trades running on Exxon Mobil. That's XOM. We have XLE, XOP. We've been playing those for the last couple months as well. So we'll see what that looks like. Partial government shutdown. We're looking to see if non-farm payroll is this Friday. It's not. Partial government shutdown. I think there's a vote going on right now. I think whether or not it gets passed, I guess we'll find out. Maybe the market can come up with a rally tomorrow. I put a little box around this SPX trade or SPX analysis. I mean, look at this recent top. Let me get my drawing tool here. One second. Okay. EpiPen. Let's fire this drawing tool back up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests of this resistance right around the 7,000 handle. We're talking like literally 7,000 SPX there. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tests right around these current lows. Okay. You know, I'm no fortune teller, but I would guess that if this market breaks and goes lower, there's room for it to fall. If this market breaks and goes higher, there's room for it to rally. Okay. After a rising wedge type look, the pressure certainly seems to be mounting to the downside, but we don't have a confirmation candle as of yet. So if we break these lows with some confirmation with a candle, you know, that opens up a trade here, 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 as far as where could the market go. 200-day moving average, really strong level, 6,500 to 6,550. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. In fact, when we hit this rising wedge, that's exactly what I talked about. If we broke this structure, you know, tested and failed and fell, or we tested the revisit the highs of the rising wedge and we fail, so slide, retest. If we fail, that's the measure move around 65.50. Okay. Financial Juice says U.S. House approves funds and to what? Yeah, dividend stocks up. Yeah, I mean, defensives are up a lot today. So that's, I mean, again, that's this whole idea of like market rotation. It's happening. I mean, look at RSP. Okay, RSP is down 0.5%. S&P is down 1.28%. NASDAQ down over 2%. Dow is down a little bit worse than equal weight. Dow's down 0.7. Russell, not too bad. Russell's down 0.64. Dollar index down slightly on the day. Oil's up almost 2%. Gold 5.4. You know, it's still, I warned this morning in my daily session. Look at gold. This high, this low. To me, I'm looking for some type of symmetry play, coming back to at least the 200-day moving average. I mean, I'm scooping up at least a little bit of gold for a long-term position. I sold some premium on GLD and SLV, but I am still looking for a, you know, at least a symmetry play, a wave structure. One, be something like this, like 1, 2, 3. If we find that 200 moving average, I like, you know, at least rebuilding a position. You know, I don't know if it goes immediately back up to highs again or goes higher, or we go high to low. It works its way all the way back to the highs again, and we create some consolidation, right? And gold just settles down. I mean, everyone is chasing and trying to jump into gold, but I think it might calm down. Volatility is crazy high. I mean, there's more option trading volume on gold and silver last week than there was in the SPY. So that's kind of a pandemonium. Did I do Amgen? I did. Yep, I did. So we took a trade on that for my Project Options Edge. We ended up putting in a ratio spread with a 315 credit. So I like the trade. I mean, fundamentally, it looks pretty strong. They're discounted cash flow. Where's it at? So AMGN. Snowflakes looks pretty good. Price to earnings, 26 times. Discounted cash flow over $600. I've got a trade at it's a 250 by 240 ratio spread. So if I'm assigned, I'm going to take the shares at like a 227 ownership price, which is substantially cheaper than now. And, you know, the structure on this chart looked pretty good. So we're just off all-time highs. Here is my positioning. I would own it at like would be 230, 227. So 227 should be like close to a 40% discount. 227. Yeah, it'd be like 35.5% off of all-time highs. I don't anticipate getting assigned it. I think overall this is going to be a stock that just continues to have a bullish channel. So if we, go to the upside, that's fine. I'm not going to chase it. I'll just have that profit. If we come back down, there's channel support. I might look at some trades that are more supportive off of this low around 250 to 260, but I'm trying to stay out of the way with a assignment level around 227. Okay, let's check the government shutdown stuff here. What did that just say? Mortgage rates hit 4.38. No, they didn't. Openly cashing in the presidency. We know that. 10 to 20 years. Okay. More Epstein. Who loves the news? We saw, I think Bitcoin's down to like low 70s right now. House is pushing to end the government shutdown today. What's prediction market? Yeah, let's check prediction markets. Let's go poly market. Shutdown Saturday, shutdown last. Another shutdown by the 14th. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay. Approves Trump funding deal. This is 1 hour ago. Just see we're getting some real time here. Partial U.S. government shutdown on track to end later Tuesday after the House passed funding deal. President Trump negotiated Senate Democrats, overcoming opposition from both ends of the political spectrum. Signature of the House vote was 217 to 214. Let's see here. More limited funding lapse looms. Department of Homeland Security only funded through the 13th. That's 10 days out. Trump negotiates Democrats over the demands for new restraints, immigration enforcement. Rest of the government will be funded through September 30th, end of fiscal year. October 1st, new fiscal year. So, I mean, that's good. The market's not really responding to that news, but that's certainly better than like a month by month government shutdown. Will we? Won't we? So I'm at least happy to kind of put a pin in this for right now, and that's right in time for October new fiscal year and midterms in November. So House passed. Anything else? Effects are starting to accumulate. Would worsen with time. I still don't think we're gonna have a non-farm payroll announcement on Friday. This might just be more trimming of certain government offices. So I don't know. It looms. 45 minutes to go. Checking on some end of day stuff. Broken wing butterfly up. Little bonus profit. Defense up. Little bonus profit. So I mean I've trimmed at least for my loss today. So 850. 850 on my daily profit play. Looks like I'm trimming about 365 and 155. I mean, I've trimmed my losses back to $330, which, for a day is not the end of the world. Getting a bit more of a profit trap here would be pretty solid. This would be nice to get filled for. I mean, this one potentially pays $1,500. 1445 be my net profit. That's going to be kind of magical right around the close. If we're hanging out around like 68.95, 6900, time will tell. Let's see here. KB Coding, do you have any playlist courses about options? I do. If you go to my channel. No, I got to fill, Mike. I got to fill at the 95 by 94. So I'm in. EGO weekly. Yep. So I've got the 95.94 and the 91 by 90 filled today. Let me check that here for engineered options. So 91.90. And I'll update that. And that is trade number 36. Yep. So we got a couple trades in. Those were put out Monday morning. So we will see where those settle for Monday. It's out to the 9th. And then for today, I'm watching this. Double ups. Unfortunately, price slipped lower than I need, lower than I wanted. I was trying to pin some of the gamma levels I saw this morning for a cheap iron fly. I'm going to lose about $250 on double up today. Daily profit play, my original position's down. It's going to be down about $850 when it's all said and done. My defense trade might help me get out of a lot of trouble here near the end of the day. If it stays where it is right now, I'll be up about $1,100. If it stays where it is, I'm up $1,100. That helps wash away a lot of this risk. But again, there's a lot that can happen here in the next 33 minutes. Well, I guess 43 minutes since we're taking it to the close. Fill at 50 cents. I didn't adjust it. I put it in at 50 cents. They got filled. Yep. Okay, back to KB Coding's question. You have playlists about options. Yes. So a couple things here that I can share. I have a couple things here. If you like a little foundational course on options, this one's free. This is just a 70-minute video I did called One Trade Mastery. You're welcome to have that. I'll post this link right here. One Trade Mastery. That's a video link, by the way. If that video link doesn't work for whatever reason in this chat, then you can send me a message in Discord, or you can join my live sessions, daily profit plan, and I can send that through our Zoom chat we do every morning. Also, I have an options course. This quick guide is $27. Here's a practical options quick guide. There's a link for that. And then if you'd like to upgrade to the full one, this has 13 of my favorite strategies. Here's my full course, practical options, full course. And if you are interested in any of these, or any questions on them, let me know. And also in my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chris Pulver. You can just check my video list, search for videos on YouTube, and just type in, see if I type it in Options 101. There you go. So type in Options 101 in my search for my playlist, and you have strangles and straddles, covered calls and turn losers into winners, credit spreads, and long call and long puts. So just some free trust kind of stuff out there. Get your beak wet on trading some options. So plenty to get started. Link is too big for YouTube chat. URL is just half. Okay, send me a message. Here's my Telegram link. If you want to join me in the mornings, our session goes live on Zoom, so you can engage with the community chat with me on Zoom in the mornings. We also push on youtube.com/financial wars as well. But I don't see the questions on YouTube, by the way. So when I'm live in the morning, it's a Zoom session. We have 300 plus members live every single morning with thousands watching afterwards. But we're live usually every day with about 300 plus people. Okay, but I'll share my, here's my public Telegram here. So if you want to join in, you want to join me in the mornings, here is a Chris Pulver Telegram. So you can join that. And then if you jump in here, the morning feed goes out around 8:30 a.m. Like 8 o'clock, 8:30 a.m. You'll get the live link, and it goes out to a Zoom session. Cool. So on YouTube, Trade Mastery, if you want to just message me in the morning, I can share that in Zoom. I've been sharing that, the last couple of weeks when traders have seen it, asking for it. And then also the Practical Options Quick Guide. Like I said, the Quick Guide is $27. That'll get your beak wet on some, basic bullish and bearish spreads. And then the full course is 13 of my favorite strategies, which is essentially how I'm taking calculated bets all the time. And I'm just, using options to trade up, down, sideways. If I, have an idea, have a trade, have a technical setup, I trade an option. I know what my risk is. I know what my reward is. I know the probability. I'm trading price, time, volatility, you know, and mainly just price and time. I mean, if it's defined risk, volatility really isn't that big of a deal outside of, well, prices can move up or down. Broader market can move up or down. But price and time is really all we're trading for the most part, especially when it's defined risk. Okay, good stuff. All right, very good. Let's see what's going on here. Broken wing, defense trade. So trying to do my best to mitigate as much risk as I can. I said that this morning. Like once it started to slip away through like 69.20, I'd like to see price kind of settle in around 6,900 if that's possible today. That would be about $1,000 profit trap right here. This one would still be worth $100 or so. I don't want to take this profit off because this also still offers a $1,000 profit trap in case we're at like 75 or 70. So the pin price is 75. We had lows today around 62. Yeah, 61. I'm getting a low here around 61. What's this low here? Low is at 62.05 is what I'm seeing on my chart. So my break even on this trade is around 68.64 on this trade. So I don't really want to see price come back and slip into those lows. It is worth an extra, 90 cents right now. But if it slips, let's say to, 80 or so, 68.80, 68.75, I might just take this broken wing off. And hopefully my defense trade is going to be, I've got about $600 in profit on my defense trades, and I'm losing 850 max. So my goal today is just to help, make the day not as painful, right? I'm down 850. If I can get, there's 405 and 180. So 400 and 180. So 850 minus 400 minus 180. I'm down 270 on the day. That's certainly survivable. We can make that back in a day, but as we get closer to the close, these have, more profit potential. I'm just trying not to do anything really silly and give back some good defense. Right? We can survive the day with a small loss. That's fine. I'm trying to, see if I can get a little bit of a big profit trap win would be great. Probably a bit more lucky than good, but sometimes you'll take it. So we'll let this kind of hang out for a second. So I'm getting some gamma that's kind of hanging out around like 80 and 6,900. So if we're going to bounce back and forth here, if we bounce back and forth between 69 or 68.80, I do have two profit traps sitting right there. So I think it's, it's a bit riskier, but it's in my best interest. Kind of let them run, let them go, and see if ultimately I can pin a little profit trap here at the end of the day to help offset as much risk as possible. Okay. All right. So we will come back to that. What else? Earnings for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we have Uber. Took a trade on it today. Eli Lilly, I couldn't take a trade that I really loved. I'm looking for a trade on Eli Lilly just for more of like the bigger picture. This thing has ripped from the lows in April last year. If you can see, I just have this fib. Let me go from, right here. So daily chart. There's a low from April. Actually, the low is actually in August 2025, which is interesting. So not even Liberation Day. Here's kind of your Liberation Day drama. So 700 Eli Lilly. We dropped lower than that in August, but ripped up. That's so crazy. That is so crazy how this thing went 80% in the second half of the year. So anyway, where am I looking for potential setups? Well, if we come back into this previous structure, so let's say I'm looking kind of like the 880 zone. So anywhere between like 880 to 800, not a bad spot to potentially stack up some defined risk longs. We have earnings this week. I'm not going to trade the noise. It's a bit expensive. You're getting $5 wide strikes. I'm not going to trade earnings. So I want to see if price will maybe retreat a little bit more. But if we have a really nice gap fill opportunity on Eli Lilly, that'd be pretty nice for at least to find risk. I was looking at a ratio spread this morning, but it was down to like a 600 or 550. It's a very expensive stock. I mean, I'd rather own the SPY. That's what I said this morning. If I'm going to do something like that ratio spread wise, I'd rather own SPY or Qs. So, and the only reason I'm not selling premium right now is because this is the third time. So back here in late January, we tested 20 plus in the VIX. We obviously had a little bit of a flare up here. This would have been that November sell off. So we had a run up to 20 plus in the VIX. We've had 3 little tests right around 19 to 20. If the vol suppression is going to struggle and we get a burst to the upside in volatility, I do have a synthetic long on the VIX for my crash insurance course that hopefully pays us pretty well. So in the VIX right here, we are long at the 17. So this trade is like a $350 risk with no profit cap. So if we get the VIX up to 30, 35, 40, this is out to April 15th. If we get any type of spike that we can trade, into the 30s or 40s, then I'm hoping to roll this, or not roll this, but to take a $330 risk to maybe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 of profit. At least it'll kind of offset some of the pain that the high VIX would maybe cause. But I also want to use that opportunity to sell premium back below April lows of 2025. Okay. So the VIX has been, very active for us these last couple of weeks. We've had these, 15s to 19s, 16s to 19s. We poked over 20 today. Okay, 68.98. So going to check on a couple things here. Defense. I've got about, 440. About $580 of defense. Again, trimming 850 minus 580. I'm down 270 on the day. Manageable, totally manageable. Full porting silver. I mean, I've got some trades in. So SLV, we're down to 77. I don't think this stuff is over. So what I did do on silver, I have 2 trades in for my Project Options Edge. We have a couple ratio spreads in. If I was going to take any ownership of silver, it'd be SLV, and this is on Project Options Edge. So we have one trade that is a 50 by 45, and we have another trade which is a combo. I'd be assigned at $40 and $35. So all in all, income-wise, it's about $320. If I took any assignment, I would own shares at like $35. So if silver came back for an ownership price of $35, it would be down, 67.5%. Now, granted, we've looked back in the past and we've seen silver at 90% drawdowns from these blowout moves. I do think that silver, in a way, is different this time. I think that they're giving this thing the strategic metal nod. In case of the AI use and industrial use, it's poor man's gold. It was a great technical trade, but it blew out measured moves. It blew out what I thought was kind of a normal price action level. I had a forecast that moved to about $90, and we got up to 109. I usually, especially on like measured symmetry, I usually don't miss targets by that much. So now that we had at least a reality check, same thing. If we have a high, low, lower, high, lower, low, I love the idea of scooping up some type of symmetry, right? High, low, lower, high, lower, low. Start positioning, start scaling in. It can be buying shares, even if it's small, dollar cost average. Because the nice thing is now is even if it took years to get back to 109 or 110, at least that's a high. If there is this true case of silver and 50 becomes the new floor, wouldn't it be nice to see a stock that you can buy at 60 and get it up to $100 again? Maybe even go higher. Sure. I'm just trying to tell people, like, use good risk management, use good sizing. Gold and silver are not something to just go all in on. They're going to be super volatile. They're going to be noisy. They're going to be messy. Clearly, if you saw this was last week. The call option volume was the same as the SPY. The same as the SPY on GLD and SLV. And it's, I guess it's not too big of a surprise that was the top. Like, that is pure mania and speculation. Like, these markets aren't that big. And yes, we had these crazy gap ups and, obviously we put in a pretty strong top. So I do believe it's different. And I know people say that, and it's typically not because history rhymes doesn't repeat. But I do think for the industrial use case, I think for the strategic metal case, I do think that silver um, is price inelastic. So I mean, silver could go up to $200, $500. It's still going to be needed in a lot of things. So, and everyone's arguing like, well, should we do silver miners and silver junior miners and like that? If you have not traded that space before, stay in your lane, man. Like that's stuff that is going to be crazy volatile. I do think that the easy money and even this like kind of bubbly money has been made. Now I think it's like technical trading will prevail, which I think isn't a bad thing. Okay, but I do like long silver. I do like long gold. UNG. This actually really bothered me. We had a nice run up. Look at natural gas. This thing spiked up. It doubled. Natural gas went up 140%. And I'm long on UNG, and this thing had a huge spike up to around $17. And I was trying to. I mean, I had a chart alarm set at 20, never activated. So if I can get rid of this thing, I've got some calls, like $5 calls that I'm trying to get rid of at $20. And we just had like another really nasty reset. Now, to be fair, I mean, is this a bullish pattern? Maybe. I'm not holding my breath, but maybe it is. If it's a bullish pattern, I can measure that out. We're probably going, UNG up to maybe $23, $24. I will definitely dump my call positions there if I get it. But if it comes right back down to the lows, like that's why they call natural gas the widowmaker. It is extremely slippery and difficult to trade. The nat gas futures was up over 140%, and you're looking at this UNG ticker that's up, 71%, and now it reset. So you're going up from 71% positive to then pulls back and it's up 25 off the lows. Just a huge reset. Silver demand rising, geopolitical tensions. Okay. So you tell me you want to make a base case to build your silver position because of solar panels? I think there's bigger cases for silver than solar panels. I mean, it's EVs, it's AIs, it's chips, it's cell phones. I mean, it's like it is now getting the nod of like, hey, the whole AI trade, the data centers, everything we want for AI, the future, it's silver, along with other things. I think what we're actually staring at is we're just staring at a commodity boom. Commodities are getting a lot of love. They've been value driven for a while, and the crazy part is I think what is happening on gold and silver is going to be where you see a lot of prices do that this year. You'll see like something that's been beat up and consolidated, and it starts to rip and break out, and it just goes to these ridiculous levels. The charts look like they're absolutely broken, and they go up by 50, 100%, and then they crash. So that's not a fun environment to play. Aviation miss. I mean, it's in everything. So, like I said, I'm just look. It is no different. I don't care. I don't like silver to me is not going to be any larger in my portfolio than maybe 5 or 10% allocation. Gold is going to be 5 or 10% allocation. It's it's that type of market because when we have gold and silver that have also done nothing for decades, I get that it's different. But if this run was putting in like a multi-month top, I shouldn't be overextending and over allocating. And believe me, with that type of run when it's up 156% since October, getting a full 50% correction is probably doable. It's probably in the cards. So I can't overextend. I think that it's great to have an allocation, but I'm not all in. It's got to be, maybe 5 to 10% positions that I build out percentage wise. I still want to hold on to some cash for some outlier events. I still want to have cash to sell premium, and I'll, churn my accounts like I typically do. Okay. All right. So it's 334, and we are getting so defense trade still showing some profit. Daily profit play has reduced from 850 down to 665. Are we going to scramble at the very end of the day to get back up above 30? That would be nuck and futs, man. If we get up to 69.30 today, that would be pretty outstanding. By the way, let's take a look at this from a fib perspective. Take the high of the day, take the low of the day, and see where this thing ends up going. Look at it right now. So we're trading right around the 38%. If we get to the 50%, it's around 69.27. I mean, that would be a partial loss on the day. I'd be down like a dollar. I'd be down a dollar on the day. Like that is a huge difference. So we have 25 minutes left. I've got a pin at 69. I've got a pin at 75. I also have a double up pin that's around 45 and 50. So who knows? This could be a crazy 25 minutes to go. Okay. But hopefully, when this is all said and done, defense, maybe this double up trade could shape up to be, if I mean, this is pinned around like 69.50 or so, 69.47 is it's worth about $860. So I think I need to figure. Yeah. So the math is I've got $15. It cost me a dollar. It was a $1.40 risk, and then I split it by 5. So my max profit is $860, and my max risk is $1.40. But price has to settle around 45 or 50 in this last little stretch. So this is probably looking the best of all my profit traps right here. This 69.10. This one's currently up about $330. It cost me 55 cents. Is up up 600% in the trade. But that is something that could pay me more if I was up to, let's say I can somehow land a $1,400 winner. I mean, that's a 2,500% gain. I mean, it's kind of cool when you can get trades like this in a day. But remember, this is for defense. I obviously wish that was my first trade of the day. But I'm playing defense on a daily profit play that I was banking on market efficiency, and we didn't have it. It was so far. It was so bad today. So markets was supposed to do a 27.85 move, and from the open, even from the gap lower, 27.85. I mean, market efficiency was 69.48. We're so far out of that. We're so far away from that. And the market moved about 114 points. I mean, you know how bad that is? 114 minus 27.58 or 85. I mean, we had a 4 times expected move today. That's terrible efficiency. So, what do we blame? I mean, I guess the VIX. What do we blame? I don't know. The market sitting here at these highs and seeing some everyday rotation. But it is what it is. Do I trade rhodium? I haven't. I don't know if I can trade rhodium, and let me see if I have futures rhodium here. I doubt it. Is there a give me a ticker. You trade rhodium futures? Is this a crypto? It's a metal, right? I mean, here I trade palladium, platinum, gold, silver, copper. I've traded coffee, cocoa. That's about it. I mean, like I said, I tend to stay in my lane. Things to be all over the place. If you like it, you follow it. You got a strategy. Awesome. But for the most part, no. If we get a little bit more than that, yes. You're Prizrak asking about probabilities. Yeah, but only like a couple of candles. It needs to be more than that. I'm looking for cycles like 7 to 10 candles, 7 to 11 candles, typically higher time frames. Gloria says that 55-cent defense trades looks insane. Now regretting not getting into it. Yeah, I mean, it's there for a reason. It's there for a reason. So, things could get pretty interesting here in the next 20 minutes. Pin price wise. So either we are going to hang out, 6,900, 6,895 would be fantastic. This double up trade down to like, where's my double up here? 69, 40, and 50 zone. I mean, we're trading at 12. That's a long ways away from the double ups. But if we come back to like 6,900, this one could be pretty sweet. That could be worth up to 1445. Even if I can sneak $1,000 out of that one, that's going to erase my entire loss on daily profit play. That helps me mitigate almost the entire day. So it may not be pretty. I might still be down $100 or two for the entire day, but I mean, it's certainly better than be down $850 or $1,000. So we'll see what happens. But good thing is we got 20 minutes and we're not just dumping all the way down to 6,800. At least the market at least found a footing a little bit. And when we take a look at the chart here, I mean, look at your candles. Look at this indecision. I'm telling you, like, do not underestimate this price action. This is a perfect little chop fest that eventually, when this market gives us a candlestick one way or the other, there's probably some follow through coming. Now, we do have some LAG7 this week, right? We have Google and Amazon this week on Wednesday, Thursday, along with other earnings. But this market is right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles in decision. So, I mean, it makes my next kind of play pretty simple. If price breaks lower, I expect this to come back to like 65.50 or so. And if price breaks higher, I think we're talking, 71, 7,200. Speaking of, let me see something really quickly. I think I was going to the Feb expirations. Let me check a couple of working orders here. Feb, see, 27th, that's a weekly. 65, 67, 62, 71, this one. So I'm gonna cancel some of these upward targets. I was doing a bonus trade here. We didn't talk about it in class. I didn't get filled on the trade. I'm gonna cancel this. I don't want to call the top. This one here, I'm not gonna call the top. That's 71 and change, cancel. Yeah. So I'm looking at some waterfall income trades pending. Okay. So those were like 71.50, kind of calling the top in February. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep an eye on this price action. Okay, 341. We're at 69.06. This defense trade is creeping up there another $400. Okay, 6,900, 68.95. This thing gets a lot better here in not that much longer. Give this trade another 13 minutes, we might be looking at maybe $700, $800 of profit if it's hanging out around 6,800. I'm sorry, 6,900. Okay, so I'm going to stay pretty glued to that. I mean, keep an eye on this price action at SPX. Earnings-wise, I want to do a quick spot check. Uber, Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk. I'll bring this over here. Let's just spot check these really quickly. We looked at a little bit of these this morning. So Uber, I took a trade on Uber. I went out a little bit farther. Here's my weekly chart. I did a 55 by 50 ratio spread for a couple $100. And LLY, I like the ratio spreads. It's just a really expensive stock. If something were to go wrong where it's like, hey, Ozempic causes cancer, I mean, this stock is going to give back a lot of its gains. Too much single like concentration risk. It's one trade, so it's like define risk versus would I own Eli Lilly? Nah, not really. Give me a split. Give me a 10-to-1 split. Own it at $100. I wouldn't look back. But at $1,000, that's a heavier allocation. I don't really want. NVO, Novo Nordisk. I've got some puts in here as well on 45. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. We have earnings. This one's out a little bit longer. What else? AbbVie. Got some shares of AbbVie. I'm going to see if we break some highs on ABVV. I like this one. I've been holding this since probably early 2024. So it's up like $50, $60 a share. CME, kind of the health of the market. I mean, these might be boring, but like Schwab, Interactive Brokers, CME. Let's go Schwab. So Charles Schwab is up to some fresh all-time highs. IBKR is Interactive Brokers. They're at fresh all-time highs. Hood beat up a little bit, like Robinhood. Yikes! I don't know if this is like crypto related, if they're getting beat up because of crypto, but that's a pretty decent decline, down 44%. What other publicly traded? CBOE. I mean, pretty fresh all-time highs. Like anything kind of trading related is doing pretty well. All right, Google. The company right now that's supposedly winning the AI race. So they say. I love a pullback. That's it. It's like I have some ratio spreads down here at the 150 by 140. If we get dips and pullbacks, I mean, there's plenty of support to find some dips on Google. That's all. Like, I'm not interested in buying these highs. Earnings-wise, option-wise, I mean, maybe a trade here. Let's see what the broker's expecting compared to average earnings. So average earnings about 585. Let's just round it to 6. Earnings expecting a $20 move. So 20 out of a 340. Broker's expecting a 5.8, and this is a 5.85 average. if we don't have a huge move on Google, this actually might be a pretty good calendar spread. It could be very cheap. Let me build out a calendar spread. This is earnings tomorrow after close. Let's do a calendar call spread. If I go 6 and 13, current price is 340. So what would be my break even? 309. So that's a $31 move. I mean, the broker's expecting a $20 move. Let me see what this one costs. Is that right? $42? You gotta be kidding me, man. That's so cheap. Okay, let me see this. So earnings, we're trading at 340. If I do a 340 for the 6th, and I can go the 9th. Yeah, that's pretty cheap. So 6th and the 9th. So this trade is $42, like $42, $43 max risk. If we get a quick crush in volatility, if there's little to no earnings movement tomorrow after the close on Google, I mean, that break even's decent. So we're trading at 340. We'd have to go up $36, and the broker is expecting 20. So I'm going to take a stab at this one. This is super low risk. See if I can get a 45-cent move. I mean, I pay 50 cents for it. All right, 45 cents. I'm in a calendar spread for Google. This is coming out the newsbreakers. Newsbreakers, new trade. Coming in hot. Newsbreakers. Google. I'm doing a 2/6 expiration. Sell 340 put. And a 2/9 expiration. Buy 340 put. 45 cents debit. Is that what it filled at? 45 cent debit. 45 cent max risk. Looking for 90 cents credit or higher for profit. See if we can turn that into a 100%er. So 2/6 expiration, 340 sell put, 2/9 expiration, 340 buy put. Okay, trade's filled. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. Calls. Yep, it's a calendar call spread. Correct. Let me make sure that's correct. Shoot. Edit message. Okay, so it's in the tracker, both calls. So 340 sell call for this Friday, 340 buy call for Monday. And it's good, 45 cent debit. All right, final 10 minutes. Defense under the 69.10 handle. It's up $360. Got another 50 to $100 on a broken wing. Maybe I can cut half the risk off. At this point, I mean, it'd be lovely to see price just fall to 6,900 in the next 10 minutes because that would be a big fat $1,000 profit trap. If it rallies up to like 20 and 30, that's not really going to help me much. I'll just have, I mean, honestly, like this defense trade is going to be worthless. So it's a 55-cent trade. I shouldn't be pissed about it being worthless, but I'm giving up some profit if I let it slip through my fingers. So we'll see what happens. I mean, in 10 minutes, maybe this market rips up to 30. If it is above $30, I have little to no risk on daily profit play. So it's I don't know. This is going to be kind of all or nothing. If we're back above 69.30 in the next 10 minutes, like we'd have to have another 15-point rally. It's possible. It is possible. So let's see what the day gives us. All right, edits out, good. So Google is in. Calendar spread. There we go. So looking for a little vol crush there on Google. I dragged that fib. We're trading around that 23. Let's go this fib from here. We're around the 38%. Can we get, in the next 10 minutes, can we get to 50? 50% pullback is around 69.27. That's a pretty manageable loss if that's the case. Okay. Gosh, man, those up $400 now. It slipped to 100. It's going to hang in there, though. If this thing comes back to like 6,900, I don't know if it will. We have 9 minutes. A lot can happen in 9 minutes. Gamma is either lighting up at the 24.25 handle or 25.30 handle, or we're coming back to like 05 or 6,900. So I'm going to just hang tight here. We got about 9 minutes left. Let me get some chat questions here. Palantir, I don't know if I have any Palantir stuff going on right now. I think I did some ratio spreads last year. We took some income trades on it. Right now, Palantir, I don't have anything. Nope. So we played a lot of Palantir last year, stayed safely out of the way. You can see like when this thing started to rip up, I was just doing like $50 ratio spreads, $50 naked puts, stacked up naked puts. A lot of these trades that just obviously price went all the way to 208, so I just stayed out of the way. And I'll probably keep it that way. Palantir, just look at where I've got the fib here. This big low to high. I mean, that's Liberation Day. Could we, have a bigger fib? Sure, you can take this whole swing from essentially a $7 stock, but I think Liberation Day is at least a meaningful support level to watch. And we're hanging out around the 30% right now. So, let's find a 5.0 or 618 pullback zone, maybe 129, maybe 129 to 115 area. Maybe looking at a trade in here. Support wise, here's the daily chart. We gapped up today on positive earnings. It's right at the 200-day. I could just see this being pretty noisy. There's pretty big support, pretty big resistance. If this is a hold, see if it holds here, stop loss, see if it goes back to 190. But that's all I had were income trades that were, safely out of the way last year. Okay. Defense. Boo hoo hoo hoo. 69. Where are we going? 7 minutes to go. Are we at 69.10? We at 69.25 and change. We at 6,900. Please make this price action a little bit exciting at the close. So what I'm really saying is I don't want it to close right here. 69.13 doesn't do me any good. 69.05, I make some money. 6,900, I make a lot of money. 69.20 doesn't help me. I mean, if you're going to make a push, you might as well push to 30. CCJ. I like Camco. I'm in Exxon and Chevron. CCJ, Camco is pretty decent. Uranium. I mean, I was in a couple of uranium plays last year. So I think URA was one of them. Yeah, I was long URA from 20 to 50. I closed it out around 50 with a trailing stop. So CCJ, I actually of this kind of arena, this trade has run up enough. I mean, from 35 to 130, it's up 284%. I like maybe some dips. If we get some pullbacks into the moving averages, maybe starting a new trend here. Looking for some type of channel or like linear regression, but I wouldn't chase this at the highs. So I'd look for some dips and pullbacks. We have levels here, pullback, find some moving average support, somewhere in that arena. Otherwise, what I do like, it's slightly different, but in the space, FCX's copper, silver, miners, gold. I had naked puts here from like 40 down to 30. Not a single one got assigned, and I've been long the stock since $30. This one's still doing well. This is probably one of my better plays as far as price action and a somewhat non-correlated play to the S&P. So this one's doing pretty well. Am I looking at Rolls Royce? Not really. I mean, at a $1,200 stock, I don't care. That's too expensive. What are you going to do on that? I don't know how liquid it is. It's way too expensive. So, I mean, options could be garbage. Heavily involved in the military nuclear industry. Okay. I mean, that's cool. I'd rather trade defense, aerospace, in that space versus Rolls. So here's Rolls Royce. So you can trade, I guess these are the ADR tickers. Let's just try this one. Looks okay. But, $1,200, I'm not that interested. All right. 3 minutes to go. Son of a gun. That defense is down $40. Lame. So, but Broken Butterfly could be a winner. Trap. Double ups. Not quite enough. Gosh, man. Right in the freaking middle. What a shitty day. 3 minutes to go. Let's see. I mean, we need a miraculous 12-point push to get rid of my daily profit risk. I'm down. Where is it at? Here? No, I mean, it's all or nothing now. 3 minutes. I need this thing to get to 25, at least mitigate some of the risk. 28.50. Son of a bee. Right around that 38%. What a stupid day. So far, market way out of efficiency today. VIX flares up to, 20 again, and then retreats. Noise. So we didn't break major structure. Pivoted pretty hard at 68.60. I said in Telegram, today, I was like 68.70 is a pretty good support level. There's your low at 70. So market at least responded. I think we just go right back to the indecision structure I talked about. That's probably the most important thing for the next kind of big positioning cycle is if price is going to break above or below this area. So lesson for the day is it was a volatile day. Ultimately, a little bit of a downside move, but noisy. Son of a gun. All right, 2 minutes left. That sucks, man. Not a single freaking play. Not a single profit trap. Kiss my grits. Treasures, I mean, nothing. Daily profit play, if I lose, it's this one's down 850. My defense trade, I had about $600 of profit. I didn't close it. And that's on me. That's my fault. So I had a chance to mitigate the risk to down to like 270 on the day. So instead of losing 850, I'd be down 270. Obviously, at the end of the day, I've got to be super accurate within those profit traps, and it didn't happen. So I offset my risk by about $100. That's it. But my flies and my double ups, like I'm going to lose probably just over $1,000 today. So 850. Trying to think here. 850, 125, 140. That freaking sucked, dude. So I'm that minus 100. So I'm down $1,015 today. All right. That's annoying. But it is what it is. If I landed a profit trap, it'd be a very different story. But I didn't. So them's the breaks. Best I could have done today really would have been mitigate the risk and cut my losses to, maybe down $300, which is obviously a pretty good improvement versus being down 1,000. But I tried, and we didn't go lower. We pivoted hard here at 61. Had we gone lower, I was prepared for that with like a $2,000 winner just in case. Yes, it would have been ugly, but didn't matter. So ended up taking a loss on the day. Daily profit lane defense down. I didn't get a defensive trap like I needed or wanted, but losing $50 here, I mean, it's up $400. Should I have taken it? No. I mean, if I take the $400 and I lose $850, okay, I'm still down, but I was looking for an opportunity to make like $1,000. That's why I kept the trade open. I can risk $55 to make 1,000. That obviously land one of those trades that pays pretty well. Got chopped around on silver today a couple times. Good. Gloria says, I rolled the lower spread to tomorrow. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, tomorrow should be it should be an efficiency day. It was definitely not that today. So based on the market maker move, VIX was up. I mean, hopefully we'll see a higher VIX tomorrow, but a higher expected move tomorrow. But that high, that low, like this market is just bouncing and rolling. So we'll just tackle like a brand new day. It's fine. If we set up a good trade tomorrow and I can make $100 to $150, I'll just chip away at it. Takes me 5-6 trades. I'll be back in black. No big deal. So, all right. Unfortunately, no profit traps for today. That would have been nice to close out, but it didn't happen. So we'll chalk it up as an L. Take our licks, lick our wounds. Come back and see you tomorrow. Meanwhile, we did have a fill on waterfall income. I did have 2 fills now on engineered options. So we'll see how the rest of the week unfolds with Google and Amazon. I mean, I guess let me take a poll here. Let's do a quick consensus. Do we think that the market has enough to just use this support and come back and try to find highs again? Maybe. If we hit the highs again, guess what? We'll have 2 winners on engineered options, and there's another $500 for the week. So I wouldn't be mad about that. At the moment, it's 50. I mean, yeah, it's more tomorrow. Tomorrow morning pre-market, we'll check it. Okay. So, all right. End of day settling. Daily profit play. Closing bell. DPP. Entry $1.50 credit. Defense. Entry $1 credit. Close 0. $1 winner. Defense entry 55 cents debit. Closed 0 credit. All right. So that's the result. 2 defense trades, 1 winner, 1 loser. Net loss on the 69.30. That level didn't hold. It was close, but didn't hold up, unfortunately. That's a tough day, man. I mean, 0 DT, the market swung from our open. Market swung 113 points on what was expected to be a 28-point move. That's difficult trading. And then at the end of the day, the market was up about 13 points off of our strike. We needed this thing to be above 69.30. And that was still, 45 points out of the money. So frustrating day, but manageable. Honestly, like $1,000, that can be done in a couple of days, no problem. And that's it. Like, as always, it's like, I'm annoyed. I didn't want to lose today, but I did. And we'll come back and grind. That's all it is. Amgen. Yeah, it's in Project Options Edge, Peter. I'm in. I already posted it for Telegram and Project Options Edge. Okay. Goes up. Yes, at all-time highs. I mean, it could. So, I mean, if LAG7 is solid, I mean, right now, let's take a quick peek at MAGs. So MAGs is still choppy. Let's look at all of them. Apple had that big pop on news that, China demand is growing a lot, or because of the weaker dollar, the demand for iPhones is skyrocketing because our dollar is weak enough that our phones are cheaper now. Amazon, I still like Amazon bigger picture, but I'm trying to get some support around that 215 zone. There's earnings on Thursdays. We'll see what it does. AVGO, I mean, this one's leaking a little bit. I can see like a high, low, lower, high, lower, low pattern. Google earnings as well this week. It's up at all-time highs. I just put in that calendar spread, the 340. I mean, even that is potential to pay a couple $100. Meta, nice gap higher up to 743. Almost filled this entire gap here, but it's fading pretty quickly. But that was at least a decent move and a big divergence between Meta going up and Microsoft going down. Microsoft is still selling off. I don't know if I have any trades in on Microsoft, or if I do, I'm going to look and see if I can find something here. Microsoft. Right now, I don't. So maybe with this little plunge in Microsoft, I may look out maybe in this like 310 zone. I'll take a look at this tomorrow. So for Wednesday, okay. I'm trying to stay out of the way. So if we go from a 555 high, maybe something down here in like the 340, 330 zone, 300 would be great. I'd certainly be willing to hang on to some Microsoft there. So 300, I mean, that's 46% lower. But if this market wants to rotate hard out of LAG7, I mean, there's even if this is a great company, I mean, this thing could freaking reset back to $250. So the smart thing is probably don't jump into it, or look left and find this. The bear market low of 2020 or 2022 was $220. Maybe that's the level I look at. But I probably have to go out 12 to 24 months for that trade if I want any premium. Oh, results are out. I gotcha. Cool. Okay. I will wrap it up there for today. Thought we'd have a little bit more excitement on the profit trap. I was at least looking forward to having something land, and it wasn't the case. But, we tried. It certainly wasn't for lack of effort. So a couple small losses on the day. The big one is daily profit play, unable to defend. We had the right idea. I didn't manage risk. I gave, a couple of heads up and warnings. So here I said, if the market's gunning, cheap risk there for a $1.20. But accept the risk, willing to continue to grind through it. Additional broken wing butterfly pin, looking for the X20 just in case. Bail on the day, like right here. Not a bad idea to play for a manageable small loss. At one point, could have cut the loss down to like $250, $300. And like I said, it's my trading. I'm accountable for it, and I took the full loss. And unfortunately, where price finished and settled on the day, this was in between my levels. I needed a greater than 69.30, or I needed a pin around like 6,900 or 68.75, and it was in the middle. So it is what it is. But plenty more trades ahead. So we will let the grind continue. All right, I'll let you go for today. Thanks for being with me, and come back and join me tomorrow. All right. If you want to join me in the morning, my live session is 9 a.m. each and every day. Daily profit plan, jump into my Telegram. If you're in my public Telegram, this link will pop up in the morning. Tomorrow should be Watchlist Wednesday. So you get the link in this in the morning. I'll be on Zoom and youtube.com/financial wars. Okay. All right, good stuff. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Mike. Yep, and we do. We manage risk. We always survive. I can be annoyed, but I'll always live the trade another day. And being down $1,000, no big deal. Give me a couple days. We can figure that out. But we'll just take good trades. Like, that's all you can do. Chalk it up for what it is. Day slipped, and take good trades tomorrow. Take good trades all week. Take good trades next week, and it'll come back, no problem. All right, cool. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, bye.